Well, it's good to see everyone again. Thank you for joining me. And today you will not be disappointed. Your intrepid adventurer has something really special for you. Out the box, in fact. Today we're going to travel to the Philae Temple. Now, this temple was the last place on earth where the ancient Egyptian religion was practiced. And its working history spans over 700 years. Stretching all the way through from the dynastic Egyptian period through the Greek, Roman, Christian, and eventually was abandoned. The temple was almost destroyed by the Aswan Dam. I'm not going into many details about the Aswan Dam because I covered that exclusively on another video. I'll have a link in the description for you. It would also be nice if you liked and subscribed. It does make a difference. Anyway, rather than me waffling on about the place, come along with me and have a look. The world-famous Philae Temple is now located on Agilkia Island, and as can be seen from Google Earth, it is in no way small, and anybody of the view that everything is bigger in Texas, well, all I can say to them is they haven't been to Egypt yet. But a brief journey of 6.2 kilometers by road, but a journey of some significance and much sadness. For me, Philae Temple represents the very end of the great Egyptian empire. The historians will of course most likely disagree with this, but it was the last place on earth where the ancient Egyptian religion was practiced. It was the last bastion of the Egyptian beliefs. And it was a place that was nearly lost. The Aswan Dam would have engulfed it and eventually destroyed it. Thanks to the efforts of UNESCO saving it, it is there for the whole world to see, and I urge the whole world to see it for themselves. The temple was constructed for the goddess Isis, and she was truly the rock star of gods. Her story was so amazing that right across the Mediterranean, this Egyptian goddess spread and was worshipped by the Greeks, by the Romans, and by groups we wouldn't even think of. It's fair to say that the scientist and the engineer were a couple of clowns. I was asking Kaman about his experience that he'd never had before, and the person who was driving the boat realised we didn't have a ticket, and anybody who knows Arabic will understand what's being said. What do you think of the boat ride, Kaman?
Yeah, it's nice to visit Philae Temple. So we are going to enjoy this temple today. So I'm happy to
But it's a bit sad though.
Aswan Dam, moving to the Philae Temple.
Our mistake had been that we had a ticket for the boat but not for the temple, and I remember when I bought it saying how cheap it was. Anyway, we got back on our way after buying the appropriate ticket and enjoyed the view. Over a continuous period of 700 years, the management had changed, but construction on the temple precinct had not stopped. The religious practices had changed slightly over the period, although the temple was focused on Isis, and it ran from the dynastic Egyptians all the way through to the Romans, the Christians, and ultimately the temple itself was abandoned, being left only to its famous cats until it was flooded, and graffiti artists and those wishing to loot it.
The Philae Temple complex, dedicated primarily to the goddess Isis, is a remarkable site that stands as one of the final outposts of ancient Egyptian religious tradition. Historical origins. Sacred site, long considered a sacred island, Philae, the N in ancient Egyptian, marked the southern border of Egypt near the first cataract of the Nile. It was a major center for the cult of Isis, who was worshipped as the Mother of God and a symbol of healing, magic, and rebirth. Construction. While earlier structures date back to the 25th dynasty, notably under the pharaoh Taharqa, the main complex we see today was largely constructed during the Ptolemaic period, beginning around 380 to 280 BC, and completed under Roman rule. The last outpost, Philae, was one of the last places where ancient Egyptian religion survived after the rise of Christianity. It officially remained active until the reign of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian in the 6th century AD, c. 550 AD, when it was closed and partially converted into a Christian church. Architectural significance. The complex is a blend of traditional Egyptian architecture and Greco-Roman influence. Notable features include Temple of Isis, the heart of the complex, featuring stunning reliefs depicting the myth of Isis, Osiris, and Horus. Kiosk of Trojan, a famous, colonnaded pavilion that served as an entrance to the island from the river. Birth House, mummified dedicated to the birth of Horus, featuring intricate carvings of the god's childhood. The Great Rescue. In the 20th century, the temple faced destruction due to the construction of the Aswan dams. Submergence. Following the completion of the Aswan Low Dam, 1902, and its subsequent height increases, the temple spent much of the year underwater, which caused severe damage to the stone and reliefs. Relocation. With the construction of the Aswan High Dam in the 1960s, the temple faced total loss. In a massive international effort led by UNESCO, the entire complex was dismantled, piece by piece, and moved to the higher ground of Agilkia Island. The jigsaw puzzle. Over the course of the 1970s, more than 47,000 blocks were cleaned, treated, and reassembled on Agilkia, which had been landscaped to resemble the original Philae Island. The project was completed and the site reopened in 1980. Today, Philae serves as a testament to both ancient architectural beauty and modern archaeological preservation, continuing to draw visitors from around the world to its new home on Agilkia.
In the background, over the roar of the motor, in Arabic, Kaman was negotiating for our return journey, and I was in a sense of pure wonder of what I was going to see, with this being the first near-complete Egyptian temple that I'd been in, despite having been in Egypt for weeks now. Knowing the history of the place certainly added to the depth of emotion around it. There is no question as to the reasons why the Egyptians viewed the Nile as both mystical and God-given. We are in the middle of the Sahara Desert here, lest we not forget that. Yet look around us, we're in a magical waterland.
Okay, wow, this is Philae Temple. We have arrived by boat, so we are going to see inside. Let's enjoy.
Coming into view is the birthing house, and it was constructed to glorify and represent the birth of the god Horus. Isis is said to have laboured for 7 days and 7 nights before giving birth to him. Horrendous. Not only the Egyptians, but everybody sees motherhood and birthing as sacred, and may it remain so. But might I suggest to the ladies, if you can possibly avoid it, don't give birth to a baby with a beak. Horus had one, and you can imagine the agony that that beak put his mother through in the birthing process. Coming into view are images of the goddess Webjet, and in an erect form she is known as the Uraeus, or a striking cobra. She is a god of protection, and Horus is a god that needed much protection. For the full story on this, there'll be a link in the description to my videos on the Egyptian gods. The irony of the door to one temple framing the next. Despite the best and valiant efforts of the conservationists, some pieces are homeless, but they do reveal structural elements of the temple, and the structural gaps are much talked about, being universal over the ancient world. It is obvious that one set of stonework is less decorative to the other, and it is my guess that the newer and less decorative stonework would be Roman. The pharaoh brandishing the crown of Lower Egypt is either Ptolemy VI or Ptolemy VIII. A detail at the bottom of screen is a drainage culvert. No doubt over the millennia the levels have changed somewhat, but it shows some of the engineering in the temple complex. Keen-eyed viewers will notice that the top of the columns, or more correctly termed the capital, are all different, and no, the apprentice didn't get it wrong. This is actually a representation of the primeval marsh from which all creation sprung under the Egyptian belief system. Just a bit of housekeeping if you don't mind. When editing the video, it felt like I was walking around in circles. And when you see the layout of the temple, to see it all, that's what you must do. But it is well worth the trouble of doing so. Even today, the facade of the temple is beautiful. Even though the beautiful colours have gone and Christian terrorists have chiseled away the faces of some of the gods, the effects of flooding and aging have severely damaged the site, but I can show you how it once would have looked. Look at the brilliantly vibrant colours, and even the pharaoh approves, either there to pray or to inspect the work of his tradesmen. Anyone with the curiosity to figure out who's who, please feel free to pause the video at this point. The damaged guardians either side of the doorway are the god Horus. That's the bird I showed you earlier. It's not Ramesses II, but Ptolemy XII doing his impression of him smiting the enemies of Egypt. With an understanding of hieroglyphs, one could get quite an education in this place. The closer you get, the more you see, along with ancient destructive graffiti. With no delusions of grandeur, I make my way into what may be termed the tradesman's entrance to the temple, with countless individuals making offerings by the hieroglyphs, and Nekbet keeping us safe in the ceiling of the temple. She is the winged vulture figure. Not know the history of the holes through the beautifully carved three-dimensional hieroglyphs which were once coloured, but even today in their bare form they are simply magnificent. People thinking I've gone around in circles are half right, but look at the detail on that wall. It is a different one, and I did kind of double back a bit. Now in the outer courtyard between the first and second pylon. We are in now what is known as the hyperstyle hall, and obviously the engineers were concerned about the uplifting of the ceiling, hence the large number of columns. But looking at the hieroglyphs upon them, they are not only uplifting structurally but spiritually, with a great deal of information and history carved into them. To the shame of everybody, the Coptic Christians wanted to get in on the action, hence the Coptic cross carved into some of the columns. The vestibule where we are now and parts of the Isis temple proper are not very well lit, and in cutting it out you would have missed out in experiencing the temple, so it's worth viewing a little grainy footage to get the full experience. Damage done to the hieroglyphs is most likely again by Christian terrorists. Where we are now is known as the Sanctuary of Isis, with all types of individuals making offerings to her. Interestingly, it butts up to the Temple of Hathor, which in volume is actually slightly larger than hers despite the temple being dedicated to her. I cannot give a good explanation for this, but that's the way they did it. Too dark to film, but photographs come out fine. We start off with Horus surrounded by lilies and make our way through a range of photos, and sometimes in photography you just nail it perfectly, like this photo of Kaman. If only this one had have come out as good. You probably guessed we're sort of on our way out now, but we're emerging from a different door, and there is so much detail associated with this temple. From a different angle you get a completely different perspective, but it does give us a good perspective on the pylon heading into the temple itself. Rounded stone coming into view is known as the Dolokostoi Castella. Essentially, the pharaoh made a large donation to the temple and he wanted everybody to know about it. And the ruins surrounding it are of a long since demolished Roman temple, along with an example of the beautiful carving done in granite. This time round we're going up the main corridor, so the view will be a little bit different to when we come in. So you're probably thinking this place is big, and you're not wrong, it is big. but by Egyptian standards it's actually only a medium-sized temple. Its significance is its point in history, and that in itself is truly significant. Now on the way in I did not show you the altar. The altar is in the center of the sanctuary to Isis, and it is the Holy of Holies. It is the place where she was housed, or allegedly housed, inside a boat, and they called the boat a bark. I don't know whether that has some tie-in with her husband's past, or it's just the language used to describe it. Conspiratorial Egyptian videos often speak of out-of-place objects, and we have one here in front of us. This stone was a millstone, most likely to crush olives. It would have had an animal circling around it, and it's from the period of time when the island served as a Coptic Christian monastery, and most likely it was taken from the temple itself, whereby the Christians mined the temple just like the Arabs mined the pyramids. Amazing anything survived, isn't it? On the left-hand side of the screen is a temple dedicated to the goddess Hathor, the goddess of dancing, alcohol and merriment, and on the right-hand side is the kiosk of Trojan, a ceremonial space and also an entry space from royal barges in times gone by. Entering the kiosk of Trojan, it will be noticed that the beautiful columns are there, but the hieroglyphs are not. And this is because this was not an Egyptian construction, but rather a Roman one. Looking at the view, you have to trust me, we're actually standing in the Sahara Desert right now. The Arabs were good at graffiti also. Yet another out-of-place artifact, and this one has a tad of mystery attached to it, is part of a lost Christian basilica once built on the island, and you'll notice that the stone used is unique to this particular structure, and there doesn't seem to be much left of it anywhere else. There are all sorts of random ruins there, but the one we're coming to now is known as the Gate of Diocletian, another Roman artifact from the period. Well, how was that? Was good, wasn't it? But there's better to come. On my next journey between Aswan and Luxor, I did 3 temples in one day, so I'm going to try and put them in the one video. I don't know how that's going to work, but the highlight of the trip was the Dendera temple. That's where the Dendera light is. There are all sorts of ideas about that, but I'm going to show it to you and you can make up your own mind on it. Anyway, as always, please like and subscribe. It's important to grow the channel so I can make bigger and better videos. And until next time, cheers, stay safe, and as always, there's plenty more to come.